Okay, this is working. This is working properly. And 안녕하세요. 저는 건 리차드라고 합니다. 이번 물가에 대해서 이야기를 하고 싶습니다. 그래서 들어주세요. 그래서 이 에피소드를 들어주세요. 여러분 들어주세요. Anyway, so if I speak Korean language, in this greeting manner, well, in this manner, so I get nervous because or I feel nervous because if you frequently use another language or another foreign language different from your own mother tongue, so you can understand my feelings. So because if you are not used to using foreign languages, so you feel nervous when you speak foreign language, for example. So but actually, so it's up to how the foreign language you frequently use and your mother tongue are distant. How long is the distance? How long is the distance between your mother tongue and the foreign language you frequently use, which is what matters, which is what I'm saying. So language. So my speaking manner is different from native one, and I'm to start with, I don't speak English. I don't speak English natively. And to start with, so I'm an Asian person living in an Asian country, and my of course. So I don't have to tell you this. If you are frequent, particularly if you are, or especially if you are frequent listeners of my podcast, I don't need to tell you which mother tongue, which language is my mother tongue actually. And anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. And this time is about a Korean country, and the title is A Foolish One with Gold, and the conclusion is studying North Korean society is studying how a human society works. And a foolish one with gold means so who I'm talking about, or which one I'm talking about is North Korea. And why I call North Korea fool is so that country has rich amount of mines or minerals, and considering which, so so the most people know, or I mean most Asian people know that North Korea is really a poor country, or suffering from poverty, and meaning the local people in North Korea are suffering from immense poverty, which is a general picture of understanding about that country. And maybe some people in Western countries like United States of America and other European oceans, and I think some West European people may know North Korea, and the fact that that North Korea is really a poor country, or that country is really an impoverished country. And but actually, so that country can launch a lot of missiles towards the United States of America, and those missiles land before reaching my country, or exceeding or passing my country, which is why my country is under the fear or under the threat of those missile attacks well, done by, or exerted by North Korea, and but actually, so so in the case of that country, so that country has rich amount of minerals or mines, and which is why, so maybe it was around the end of Korean War when that country began to so it began to raise its own economy by heavy industry. Heavy industry was what that country tries to use for for gaining money or making wealth actually. And yeah, and another factor is that, so that country has a, I thought, yeah, and that country was next to China, or bordering, that country borders China and Soviet Union, and that country has survived. I mean, so that country has been rich, or has been richer. That country has been richer than South Korea in not in 1960s or 1950s or 1960s. I mean, until 1970s, North Korea had been richer than South Korea, and that is because North Korea could have gotten a rich amount, or a huge amount of subsidies from East European countries, and in the past, before the end of Cold War, so there had been two groups, and one which is the countries of capitalists, and the other is the countries of socialists, and finally, socialistic countries lost, and capitalistic countries won. But capitalist countries beat socialist one in the competitions of economies, and including military fighting, so military wars, or military conflicts actually. And so at that time, maybe I don't know how to call this in English language, but actually, so many satellite countries had been created by the United States of America and Soviet Union, and North Korea North Korea is one of them. North Korea had, so I think it's up to, or it depends on the understanding of experts, but actually, so after the World War II, so the northern part of Korean Peninsula was conquered by Soviet Union, and through which anyway, so many things happened, various things happened, and after which North Korea was established as a sovereign country anyway. So and after which that famous Korean War occurred, and many people passed away, and after which those two Korean countries began to compete each other in the field of economy, and South Korea won and North Korea lost, which is the present situation in this world. And I'm creating this episode at the beginning of January in 2023. And at that time, so, in this present time, North Korea is a poor country anyway, or the most poor country among the world anyway, or all over the world. And so coming back to the conclusion of this episode, so why studying North Korean society is good is that, the good of studying North Korean society is that, so you can, that country has a poor social system, keeping people alive, or giving people wealth, or distributing people wealth, distributing wealth to people equally, meaning that, so that, of course, there there are some rich people in that country, but actually, so that country after the Cold War, so East European countries and other, for example, Soviet Union ceased to give that country subsidies, or other countries, other socialistic countries stopped subsidizing North Korea, which is why so North Korea lost so incomes from or income sources from the sources of incomes from other countries, which is why so that country, and another factor is that that country failed to raise its economy, so which is why so that country. And another factor is that in 1990s, so there was maybe around the 1990s there had been a huge famine, which occurred, that such a famine occurred. There is a huge scale of famine which occurred in North Korea, and that famine so maybe not literally swept, not literally swept, but I'm sorry for my I made a mistake in speaking out English language, and that it's not that thing like that famine swept the entire population of North Korea, but actually so many people passed away because of that famine, and accompanying poverty, actually accompanying lack of food, and by which many people passed away in that country. Such a severe poverty had occurred in that country in 1990s, and after that country asked for other countries to give North Korea subsidies anyway. Such a thing occurred, and such a thing was that was a remarkable event actually, and so and which was the cause of the establishment of capital markets in North Korea. Capital markets exist in North Korea, and so at first maybe I read a book according to which so just after the cessation of the influx of subsidies which had come from East European countries, and what began was that so yeah, I remember there are some people who came from China and Japan, so by the way one of which is my country anyway, and so after the World War II, many Korean people came back to North Korea, and because North Korea said that that country was going to take care of the citizens, and so which means so that country had some populations having connections with China and Japan, and they imported goods or other things into North Korea, and those people began to sell those things in the capital markets in North Korea, and which is how those people began to make money, and those people could become wealthier than other people, and accompanying which, and so and simultaneously with them, there were some people who became rich, and they were so those police officers, or some public servants working for monitoring those people who are monitoring people who are trying to make money, and that country is a country of socialists, which is why that country monitor that country that country had so had tried to control things, and anyway, roughly saying, so people began to make money illegally, so which is why, but actually, there were some public servants who try to monitor and control the situation, and if they found some criminals who try to make money by normal capitalistic markets, and those officers or those public officers try to apprehend them, and with such a thing but actually, those public servants, or those people monitoring the capital markets and working for them, they do not have money, and who has no money, or who has little amount of money is that or small amount of money is that those public servants didn't cease to get money, which is why, anyway, roughly saying, so they get bribed, or those rich people began to give bribes to those public servants, and after which, so those public servants became richer because those public servants could, and including police officers, could get money from like they were given money from those rich North Korean people, and after which, dealers became richer after them becoming richer, after them having become richer. So dealers began to, or the people working in the field of wholesales began to make money, or began to make their own wealth, and so that is because the country didn't have a decent transportation system. So that country, to start with, that country doesn't have a decent transportation system, and in the past, that country, North Korea, didn't have a decent transporting system, which is why, if dealers could carry things or goods, to from where to where as they want, if those dealers could have, if those dealers had some pipes, or some transporting manners, carrying goods from a place to another place, so those dealers could make money, which is what happened in North Korea, and by doing it, and so like which, so what I'd like you to know in this episode is that that country has such a primitive system of primitive social system, which is why, by studying North Korean society, so you can understand such a primitive levels of human societies. So which is why, so when it comes to for example, you are becoming rich. If you'd like to become rich, and if you'd like to know how human societies work, so studying North Korean society can be helpful for you, which is what I wanted you to know. So I'm thinking of ending this episode. So the title is A Foolish One with Gold, and conclusion is studying North Korean society is studying how a human society works. So that country also has, excellent people and serious people, and that country, to start with, that country had a huge amount of mines or minerals, but actually that country is still one of the poorest countries all over the world. But actually, so that country has really a great tools, or excellent tools as a nation. But actually, so thanks to the poor skill, or thanks to the low skills of managing board of that country. So many people, or many local people in that country are still suffering from from the poverty compared to even other Asian countries. So compared with other Asian countries, and which is why but actually that country is worth studying for. I think which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for everything. See you and 감사합니다.